Hey, this is Annette from Southwind Designs, and I thought I'd show you how to make these really cool Valentine's hearts today in honor of February, which of course is the month of hearts. So here you can see some of the hearts that I've made to show you, one of them before the curves and one of them after. And my curves are made with folded inserts, so they're folded squares or sometimes folded strips. And I got a lot of questions lately about how to make these really cool dimensional one seam flying geese, so I thought I'd show you that real quick. And we're going to make this shape right here with just one seam. So we're making a little sandwich, right sides together. This started out as a strip. I'm folding it in half and I'm putting it right at the edges here, matching the raw edges. And see the fold down here? It points down towards me, towards the inside of the piece. That is good. And I'm putting a top on it. I call this a sandwich. And normally, I have to tell you, I would probably sew with a different color thread, but I'm already set up for the next step, so I'm just going to leave that in there. So 1/4 inch seam, you can either hit your cutting scissors if you have it, or you could just cut the threads. Both works. So you have this really weird little strip caught in between. But if you open that, look at how cool this is. You're making a triangle with just one seam. Now, I like to open it all the way in the back. And even this little triangle, this little mini triangle, it helps when you get different kind of triangles closer to the seam to show you how far you can sew. What happens on one side will happen on the other. So now this is the little dimensional flying geese triangle. And at this point, I would probably just press it. But because I'm not here at the iron, I'll just put a pin in it for later. Whoops. And here we go. So let me put this aside. This is how I use this piece, the same pieces that I just showed you. And this is the dimensional flying geese. And you see I've already been playing around with it. But, you know, this is just my little sample to show you how this works. Now, when we go to the finished heart, you can see how I've already top stitched along the outside of each of those triangles, and I even have a little overlap here and here, and that is a question that I get asked about. How do I handle those one seam flying geese pieces? So I've set up my sewing machine to show you how I do it. So I insert the needle right in here, and that is kind of to do two things. It's the starting point, but it also kind of holds my piece in place. So you can stitch in place, especially if you've cut your thread with your machine. There is not going to be any problems with your bobbin thread. If you can't do that, you can pull the bobbin thread up if you like, just like in quilting. So let me pull this foot up so I can show you what happens. So now I'm going to pull this back as far as it wants to go without wrinkles. Now if you pull it back too far, you can see how it pulls. You really don't want that. You want just the bias to lay down flat and natural, and it's real easy to do because it is a bias. So I'm stitching in place, and that is my lock stitch. And if your machine has a lock stitch, select it. You know, each of your machines does special tricks, but I don't know which machine you're using, so I'm stitching right along the outside of that. And let me just take this little stiletto to show you. Right along the original fold. And on this foot, this particular 1/4 inch foot, I can see clear to the needle, and that's kind of what I like to be able to do because that is really, really helpful. So I'm going to stitch not all the way to the point, but about a 1/4 inch before then I stop and I lift the presser foot, pivot, and I actually just like to use my hands, and I just sweep over one side over the other, go down and bring the needle down through all the layers, including the new folded over layer, and then very slowly, you have to start slow because there's quite a bit of bulk there, you just stitch all the way to the other side. And that's how easy that is. And stitch in place, and voila, you're done. A cute little heart. How neat is that? So, as a little present, Valentine's present for you, I'd like to offer this heart pattern for free on my newsletter, which will come out very soon. So if you go ahead and sign up for my newsletter or watch on my website, maybe I can put an announcement on there, but if you sign up for my newsletter, you'll get it for sure. It'll be a PDF you can download, a little heart for you for Valentine's Day. So my website is southwindquilts.com. I'm Annette from Southwind Designs, and hope to see you next time. Bye.